Okay, our third example for partial fraction decomposition is the integral of 1 over x times x squared plus 1 squared dx. So let's talk about our rational function and what our denominator looks like. So it's fully factored. That's one thing to notice first. And we have x is just a linear term. So we'll know we'll need a constant above the fraction whose denominator will be x. X squared plus 1 is an irreducible quadratic. That means we can't factor it anymore. But when we have a quadratic in the denominator, we need a linear term in the numerator. And notice that it's also a repeated factor because it's squared. So let's see how we're going to break this down into partial fractions. We're going to need a fraction with x in its denominator. We're going to need another one that will have x squared plus 1, the quadratic, and another one that will have x squared plus 1 squared because we have a repeated factor. When we have a linear term in the denominator, we just get a constant as a contribution in the numerator. When we have a quadratic term in the denominator, like x squared plus 1, we're going to need a linear term, the possibility of a linear term in the numerator. And since that is repeated, and we have another quadratic for our third fraction, we need another linear term, like dx plus e in the numerator. So this is going to be a longer problem because we have to solve for a, b, c, d, and e. And as I've done in the previous videos, we're going to get a common denominator on the right side and make sure that we're multiplying the numerators appropriately to get that common denominator. And then we will equate the numerators to one another. So on the right side, a will have to get multiplied by x squared plus 1 squared because it doesn't have any of that term in its denominator. Bx plus c will need to be multiplied by 1 factor of x squared plus 1 because it's missing 1 to get the whole denominator, and times x also. And then dx plus e will need to get multiplied by just by x. Okay, so let's equate the numerator. So on the left, we're going to have a 1, and on the right, I'm going to go ahead and multiply things out. And the way I'm going to solve this one, because we can't really zero out x squared plus 1, so I'm going to solve this one using a system of equations. I haven't done that yet in the examples on YouTube. So that's how I'm going to solve this one, just to give you to show you how to do it that way. So I'm going to go ahead and square x squared plus 1 squared. That's going to give us x to the 4th. So the first term squared plus 2 times the first times the second, so plus a 2x squared plus 1. And here, for the next one, well, we're going to have to multiply bx plus c times, I'm going to do it here, x cubed plus x, right? This becomes, when we distribute the x, this is x cubed plus x. So I'll just write it here. We'll do the multiplication in a little bit so I don't make any mistakes. X cubed plus x. And this last one, since I'm just multiplying by x, we'll do a dx squared plus ex. Let's continue to distribute everything. So we have 1 equals ax to the 4th plus 2ax squared plus a. And here we're going to distribute using FOIL, or just the distributive property. So we'll have a bx to the 4th, and then when we do the outer terms, a bx squared. The inner terms will give us a cx cubed, and the final one will be cx. Then we still have our dx squared plus ex. And the way that we're going to do this is we're going to think of this as the two sides of the equation. On the left, we just have a 1. On the right, I'm going to collect all of the like terms. So I'm going to look for the x to the fourth. We have an ax to the fourth and a bx to the fourth, which means this is equal, which means I have an x to the fourth that I'm going to factor and a plus b. All right, let's use a different color for the x cubed. X cubed, it looks like it's just the cx cubed, so cx cubed. Let's take a different color for the x squared. X squared looks like 2ax squared, bx squared, and dx squared. If I factor out an x squared, we'll get 2a plus b plus d. And then for the x's, we have, let's see, cx and ex. So if I pull out an x, that's c plus e. And then for the single constant, we just have the a left. Oops, I should have used a different color. I'll use green. So plus a. Okay, now on the left side, we only have a constant, which means that the x to the fourth term, x to the third, x squared, and x terms all have to be 0. Because when we look at the equality that we have on the left and right, we only have a constant on the left. So we already know the only constant we have is a. So this is telling us that a has to be equal to 1, our constant. We also know that every other coefficient of x, x squared, x cubed, and x to the fourth must be 0 because we don't have any of those on the left side. So that's telling us that a plus b, the coefficient of x to the fourth, has to be 0. C has to be 0. 2a plus b plus d is also equal to 0, and c plus d, e, is also equal to 0. All right, so let's work on what these equations are telling us. We have a is 1. Since a plus b is 0, that tells us that b has to be -1, so that a plus b gives us 0, and they add up to 0. So we've got a, we've got b, we've got c. That means we can find d, because the next equation has an equation with a, b, and d, and we know the values of a and b, so we're going to be able to find d. So let's work on that. 2a is 2, since a is 1. b is -1, so I'm plugging in our values for a and b, plus d equals 0. So this is 1 plus d is 0, which means that d is equal to -1. So now we've got a, b, c, and d, and we need e. But since we have c, from this equation, c is 0, so 0 plus e is 0, which means that e is also 0. We have all of them. Let's write that down. So we've got a is 1, b is -1, c is 0, d is -1, and e is 0. And now we're going to go to our partial fraction decomposition above. I'm boxing it right now in pink, and put in our constant values and integrate. Okay, so we'll have integral a over x, that's just 1 over x dx, since a is 1, our first value, plus integral bx plus c, well, that's going to be a -x, since we have a b is -1 and c is 0, so -x over x squared plus 1. There's our second integral. And our third one will be integral of dx plus e, and d is -1, so -x over x squared plus 1 squared dx. And now we're going to use our techniques of integration to solve the problem. All right, the first one's easy. That's a natural log. Let's talk about the second one and the third one. Well, what I see here is that we have a function x squared plus 1, and a form of its derivative is in the numerator. So it seems to me like this would be a good u substitution, where we can let u be x squared plus 1. That means du will be 2x dx. So x dx is 1/2 du. So we have a negative on the outside, integral 1 over u times 1/2 du. Okay, and the third one's very similar. X squared plus 1 squared, well, that seems to be like that would be a good u sub also, very similar. We'll let u be x squared plus 1. We know du is 2x dx, so we'll get that 1/2 term. So this will be a negative 1/2 integral of 1 over u squared du for the third integral. All right, so let's write this out. So we have integral of 1 over x dx, we know what that's going to be, minus, I'm going to pull a 1/2 out of this second integral, and then minus 1/2, and this is 1 over u squared is the same as u to the negative 2 du. Let's integrate and put our u's back in. So we have positive natural log absolute value of x minus 1/2 natural log, and u is x squared plus 1. I don't need absolute value because x squared plus 1 is always positive. And then u to the negative 2, when we integrate using the power rule, will be u to the negative 1 times over negative 1. So this will become a plus 1/2, and u to the negative 1 will be 1 over u, which in this case was also x squared plus 1, and plus c, and we have finished our integral. Okay, so there it is. That is our final answer. And this one was important to do for us because it showed us how to tackle those terms that have a irreducible quadratic in the denominator, where we need a linear term in the numerator. And if it's repeated, then we need additional linear terms for each power of the x squared plus 1 that was repeated.